Hey everybody, welcome back to the development log for The Boy Who Stole the Sun. I am Seth Gordon, and I'm working on this video game. So it's been, I've had a little gap again since the last update, and that was due to this crazy bug that, that I ran into with the scripting system, which actually looked like a series of bugs, but it was actually just one main problem, and the short version of the story is I had to go through all these different systems to check them all in the scripting system. There's here's what a script looks like when I type it out. This is the human readable version of it. This is the script for snow piles, which if you've seen the other buildings, they're piles of snow that just gradually build up until they're large enough that you can punch them and a little flurry pops out. Even though the flurries are kind of enemies that will attack you, they're useful because you can use them to toss in the water and build little bridges. They kind of freeze things, stuff like that. So it's all part of the fun. Anyway, they were not working recently. Like, you couldn't punch them anymore, or they wouldn't build up anymore. And all my codes in the script were fine, but just something wasn't working right, and it had to do with this check for a snow timer that it just runs for, I set it for 1,000 milliseconds, that's 1 second, and anytime that it's supposed to be piling up, if that timer runs out, it's supposed to advance the animation, make sure collision's on, and reset the timer, and if it gets all the way to its max size, it goes into a waiting state here where it doesn't build up anymore. So that wasn't happening at all. If I could punch it one time and get a flurry out, it just wouldn't build up anymore. So that kind of broke the whole first part of gameplay that I was putting together. So I had to go through the code that reads the scripts. Thankfully, my tokenizer, I haven't needed to look at that in a long time. It works perfectly as far as this language goes, where it assigns all of these things as keywords or identifiers or operators like the parentheses and all kinds of stuff like that. It splits all these things up into tokens with some kind of meaning and hands it over to the interpreter that tries to build functional statements out of those tokens, and it does the syntax checking to make sure it's written out correctly and that your that your code makes sense. And I checked all that and cleaned up a few things, but it was all working correctly, and then the interpreter hands over the this kind of the structure that it builds that made sense out of all this to the code generator. And the code generator generates something that in meaning kind of looks like this. There's no version of this that exists. There's no debugger that tells you like what the bytecodes mean, but I hand wrote this out so that I could manually check to see if all of the code in this snowpile script was being compiled correctly, and then later in the game, was it being run correctly. So I wrote out all this stuff so that I could check each line of code that it generates and figure out whether it was doing things correctly. And I cleaned up some of the generator code also, but it was doing everything exactly the way that I designed it to do, so I was really confused if the code that was being generated was correct, why I wasn't getting the correct behavior. And it turns out that the culprit was this function right here in a class called the script host, load bytecode. And the job of this function was to kind of pre-parse this this whole sequence of values into statements, because there are no like new lines. It sort of looks like this, where everything just runs together. And I had originally written this just to look for these statement ending marks. The problem with looking for statement ending marks is, what if you had a string, a string literal with like dialogue written in it or something, or a debug message. You have to track like, when am I reading a string and when am I just looking at tokens. And then there were these other problems where it would read where everywhere that it says int, this is actually 4 bytes, where everything else is just 1. Anyway, tracking the state for all that stuff was a big mess, and there were bugs in that process. So putting that away, I just deleted the whole function and wrote this much cleaner version that just reads one thing at a time and doesn't try to do all of the different kinds of statements. And here in the the function reading statement, it only has a couple of things that it can read in a function at the beginning, where there's variable declarations, and when all that header stuff is done, there's only a few kinds of statements, and they're all right here, and it reads those individually. So it doesn't, there's no one function trying to track everything. Everything's got its own function now, so it knows the format of it, and it basically reads everything just like this, one statement at a time. So once that was sorted out, a lot of things started working perfectly. There's still bugs, but I'll show you the state of the game that we're in right now. I'll jump in a full screen program and just, you've seen the, if you've watched any of the other videos, you know that how these snow piles are supposed to work, but they stopped working and now they're working again, and so on. You can see they build up just like they're supposed to. So that's all good. There's another new entity. I'm pretty sure I didn't have this working in the last updates because of the bug. And it's this this hole right up here. The hole itself is just a level decoration, but there's an invisible entity on there that I call the slug burrow, which just checks the level to see if there are less than 5 slugs on the map, and if there are, it spawns one every couple of seconds. So if I start stepping on these slugs and squish them, their little bodies now sort of like have a little deteriorating slime thing that runs out after 10 seconds, and you can see after that time's up, new slugs are born. It's making more of them up here, so yay. So now we can have temporary slugs and also infinite slugs, and they, I destroyed that one before I picked it up. And they still do their job here, which is they act like a light due to a lot of feedback from my team and my testers, and my tester is just like my 9-year-old son at this point. They said this cave is really hard to navigate without dying, so they wanted this slug light, this very dim slug glow here to extend wider so you can see around the player a little more. So that's a little bigger than it was last time. So, anywho, everybody's doing what they do. Oh, I'm dead. Okay. Yeah, and then there's this area here, which has become a lot of fun because I can get a lot of flurries running around here at once. At least after they fill up all the water and don't splash in there and make bridges. I guess it was a little more fun too. There was a bug in how it looks up what enemies are colliding each other. And I could just sit here infinitely because these guys weren't freezing me properly. You can see, even when I'm dead right now, they're still going after me, which is kind of funny. And it looks like they just want a nice group hug. I think I should probably have them ignore me. I kind of disable my player collision because weird things happen and you can get knocked around when you're dead. I think I should probably find a way to anchor it and keep it on so they don't float through me like that, but I should probably also just have them ignore me. Anyway, I can press a button and come back to life and die again, maybe if I hop out here. Alright, So there's all that stuff. I guess I got a little slug here I can pick up. What else? What else? Oh, I've got a new entity I can show you, but it's not on one of the maps connected to the start map here. So I'll have to quit out here and go back to desktop view and run the level editor. I think I must have deleted the map at some point that had this guy on there. So, we'll just start up a new thing here. Here we go. How big do I want this area to be? Okay. Okay, need to make this a little bit wider. There we go. Okay, I guess I don't want this to go all the way down. So I'll close that off, and then why is this being weird? Why is flood fill broken today? Okay, I guess flood fill's broken. Okay, I'll have to add that to the list. Just carve this out manually here. Just want a big open area for now to show off this next critter. Pardon me for taking a while drawing out rocks and stuff. Okay. And I'm going to put a couple of these guys. I think these are fires, and then this is the conceptual design for a new critter that I'm pretty excited about. Uh-oh. Crashing. What do I need to do here? File save as. I might. Oh, no spawn point. I guess that's important. Alright, spawn point. Should have warned me about that before, I think. Okay, game data map. Slug data cave. Alright, there we go. Ta-da! And this is a little dark. I need to bring up the lights a smidgen. I'll save. Okay, build it and go. And we'll go full screen here. Yeah. Oh, I need to put those. Oh, I forgot I can push him. He's super heavy, but I can push him around. I just want him to cast shadows and stuff, because that's fun. There he goes. Gets close enough to the fire, he'll cast the shadow. So, you're not going to be able to push this guy around as such when the when the final thing is put together, but at the moment, while he's just a test entity, he's super heavy but totally pushable because he's not actually trying to crawl or animate or anything like that. So, I don't know. I just think he looks cool. It's the first thing that's been significantly larger than the boy. So, kind of excited. I guess some parts of this light model look a little funny when this guy's in front of the light, but it is what it is. It is what it is. I'm not gonna go rewrite my dynamic lighting system now. We'll just deal with it. Scale is weird, but it's video games. We can pretend that it's fine. So, anyway, we've got a bunch of creatures in the store. We don't have art for them all. This is a concept. I'm not sure exactly what we're going to do with him yet, but he looks so cool. I want him to work. I think we're going to have some birds. The flurry is already kind of a done thing. We've got this guy will probably be outside. He's just a little fox. Oh, that rendering's totally funny looking there. I'm going to move him over. Okay. We're going to have some ghost folks. This is an item. It's a little lamp. And that's going to be kind of the upgraded version of the little slug light, something to carry around. It'll be brighter, last longer, that sort of thing. So we got all kinds of things upcoming, and there's still a few bugs with scripts that I think might be in the game, just in the game code at this point. I think the back-end system's all right, and I just have to make sure I'm managing state in the game code properly, responding to those commands. So that's what I've got for now. Yeah, I'm super excited to be developing again. There's another creature that's not built into an entity yet that I can't drop in here to show you, but there's one in specific that will be available in caves and such for the next update, I believe. Looking forward to showing you guys that. Yeah, so that's it for now. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time.